The universe is a pretty big place, and if it's just us, that seems like an awful waste of space. And this is Nerdist News. No Man's Sky, the long-awaited, almost deified space exploration game, is finally going to touch down on June 21st, and with the game's release around the corner, developer Hello Games is finally allowing folks who aren't Stephen Colbert to get hands-on with the title, something our very own gaming editor Malik Forte got a chance to do earlier this week, and I am totally jealous. Now, we don't need to tell you how the game is populated by over a mind-boggling 18 quintillion procedurally generated planets, a universe of which 90% of will never be explored. But there are a bunch of things we do need to tell you, which is why Malik is here to give us 6 things you don't know about No Man's Sky. So, Malik, first of all, I can't believe you got hands-on with it. I'm super pissed, and I hate you.
Hey, just doing my job.
But we know it's a game where you are mostly exploring.
Yes.
But when you talk to the game's creator, Sean Murray, what did he actually say was the objective of the game, if there even is an objective?
There is an objective, and that objective is to reach the center of the universe. Basically, when you first start off the game, you're on the outskirts of the universe, you're low level, you don't have much technology, and the objective is to gain technology and move closer to the center. And as you move closer to the center, the game kind of scales in difficulty.
So this is a huge game. How long will it take us to complete this objective playtime-wise?
If you just focus straight on getting to the center of the universe, Hello Games told me that it would take anywhere between 40 to 50 hours. Now, that's highly unlikely because you're kind of encouraged to explore and to go
especially
without.
if you need to craft and upgrade all your stuff.
Right.
You're going to be forced to go do that.
Exactly. And you're going to be walking around talking to some of the alien races and doing all the other crazy stuff that we're probably going to talk about before the end of this video. So
are you going to be able to play with your friends?
No, there is no co-op, there's no competitive. This is nothing like Journey where you're a bump into someone else who's on a voyage as well. There's just none.
That's too bad. That would have been such a good ad.
I know, it was what everyone is asking for, but they wanted this game to be an intimate experience. Now, it's still a shared universe. You're still going to kind of sense the presence of other people. For instance, if you land on the planet, you can do things like rename the creatures on the planet, and if other people land on that planet after you, they'll see what you renamed these creatures. For instance, I was on a planet and I saw the saber-toothed tiger that was mauling all these indigenous creatures, and so I killed it, and I named it Mean Effing Cat. And
okay.
So anybody who lands on that planet, they'll see the Mean Effing Cat running around. They'll see that it'll actually be named that.
So when they land, though, is there anything that they can do to change the name? Is
No.
it something that they want to name?
You can only name
planets.
You can only rename them once.
Okay.
So if you're the first there, that's your planet pretty much.
What about the game's controls? Are they as abstract as the rest of the game is, or is it pretty easy to pick up?
It's pretty easy to pick up. It's intuitive as any other, first-person shooter. The controls are very standard. You press R2 to fire your weapon. Okay. X is your button to jump or use the jetpack. If you hold it down, you kind of float up in the sky. Okay. And then L3 is your sprint button, so there is kind of a sprint mechanism in there as well. It's pretty simple.
So since this is a big game, how fast does it load? I mean, is it something like Minecraft? Is it procedurally generates? It kind of,
loads in around you?
But
yes, it does.
You sometimes see a little bit of lag, so like how fast would you say it's?
So there were times where I did see things kind of just popping in my field of view, but for the most part, it was pretty quick. And there were a few times where I would turn around and see like a completely loaded level and go, oh wow, that was really fast. But the best thing is there are no load screens. It's very seamless. You can go from planet to planet without having any hiccups or any stops.
Now, one of the things we actually talked about earlier before we started doing this, recording this, is interiors.
Yes.
Which you mentioned you were really surprised of because you were kind of expecting to go in and just be doing exterior every time you land on a planet. Right. You just got like maybe some forest, maybe some landscape, but that's it.
Right, but there are actually interiors in the game. There are like space stations. Some of them are abandoned. Some of them have NPCs that are in there that you talk to from like alien races, which is a whole nother side of the game, is meeting alien races and learning the languages and the vernaculars that they have. But yeah.
And so how do you learn their languages?
There are like monoliths that are around and different items that are like around the planet that you will find that'll teach you these languages. And once you do talk to these NPCs, sometimes you can kind of understand what they're saying. So you'll see some of what they're saying in English subtitles.
Oh, nice.
And if you can kind of make out what they're saying, based on the few words that you do understand, you can ask them to teach you more.
All right, so what genre would you categorize this game in?
Well, it's still hard to classify for me, but Sean Murray called it a sandbox survival game. And I guess it is kind of a survival game if you compare it to like Minecraft survival mode.
Very cool.
Indeed.
Thanks, Malik. But what do you guys think? Will No Man's Sky live up to the hype? Are you kind of bummed you can't quest alongside with your friends? Gotta admit, I'm a little bummed about that.
Yeah.
What will you name your first alien creature? I'm sure it'll have something to do with dicks. Who did I quote in the intro to today's episode? Let's discuss. Make sure you check out Malik's full interview with Sean Murray, where he asks him what sci-fi property No Man's Sky most resembles over at Nerdist.com. And guess what? It's your last chance to help Dark Rift and Lenovo Gaming design the characters, environments, and the gameplay for a tower defense game. To get in on the final mission, visit LenovoGameState.com to help decide the finishing move for the game's badass, Gwen, the Grand Marshal. She needs a killer catchphrase to go along with her move, and you can suggest what it will be. Maybe if she shoots a cryoblast out of the ends of her swords, she can shout, "Nice to meet ya," or "Have a nice day." Think of something better than that, and tell everyone you know to vote for your idea on Twitter and Facebook using #GameState. And thank you for sponsoring today's show, you guys.